In 2003, a team of thieves broke into what was believed to be the most secure diamond vault on planet Earth. When they were done, no alarms had been triggered, no guards were harmed, and to this day, the vast majority of the diamonds have never been recovered. They walked out with a haul worth over $100 million. This is the incredible true story of the Antwerp diamond heist. Welcome to Antwerp, Belgium, a quiet, picturesque European city that just so happens to be home to the world's largest diamond district. To give you some perspective, more than 80% of the world's rough diamonds pass through this very place. And at the heart of it all stood a vault, a fortress of finance believed to be completely, utterly impenetrable. Just listen to this list of security measures. Inside this vault, you had motion sensors, state-of-the-art heat detectors, powerful magnetic field locks, and even seismic sensors that could detect the slightest vibration. And guarding it all was a massive steel door, specifically engineered to withstand explosions. The top security experts in the world looked at this setup and all said the same thing. Breaking into this vault was impossible, but they were about to be proven wrong. The mastermind behind this audacious plan was a man named Leonardo Notarbartolo. He wasn't your typical criminal. He was an Italian jeweler by trade, known for being calm, incredibly patient, and practically invisible. This wasn't a smash-and-grab job. Notarbartolo didn't rush. His first move was to rent an office right inside the Diamond Center itself. For 2 full years, he blended in, playing the part of a legitimate businessman. All the while, he was studying every detail: the routines of the guards, the intricacies of the security systems, and the predictable patterns of human behavior. This wasn't just a robbery. It was a long-term, meticulously planned operation. Of course, Notarbartolo didn't work alone. He assembled a small, elite crew of specialists, each a master of their craft. He had an electronics expert, a world-class lockpicker, a surveillance specialist who could map out every camera and sensor, and a logistics planner to handle the get-in and get-out. This was a classic heist team. Each man had one specific role, and to maintain security, no single person knew every single detail of the plan. They trained relentlessly. They rehearsed every step over and over again. They waited for the perfect moment. Their goal was simple on paper, but monumental in practice: enter the vault, disable every single layer of security, and leave without leaving a single trace behind. They memorized camera blind spots, guard schedules, and the exact locations of every sensor. Even the ambient temperature of the room was a factor they accounted for. One mistake, one slip-up, would trigger the alarms and bring the entire operation crashing down. February 15th, 2003, late at night. The city was asleep, but the team was wide awake. They entered the building, moving like ghosts through the corridors. One by one, they began to neutralize the supposedly foolproof security systems. A sophisticated motion sensor was blinded using a simple can of ordinary hairspray. A sensitive heat detector was tricked with carefully placed layers of insulation. The powerful magnetic locks were delicately bypassed, a feat that required immense skill and custom tools. For hours, they worked in absolute, complete silence. Every movement was precise, every action deliberate. Finally, the moment of truth. The massive vault door swung open. Inside, their eyes were met with hundreds of safety deposit boxes, each one containing a small fortune. But they were disciplined. They didn't take everything. Their targets were specific: only diamonds, gold, and cash. After they had gathered their loot, they meticulously put everything back in its place. When they left, the vault looked exactly as it had before they arrived. It was completely untouched. No alarms had sounded. There were no signs of forced entry. It was, by all accounts, the perfect crime. But perfection, as it turns out, has a very short shelf life. On their way out of the country, feeling the rush of their success, the team made a critical mistake. They stopped in a nearby forest and dumped a bag of trash. It contained food wrappers, discarded gloves, and a few random receipts from their preparations. A local farmer stumbled upon this bag of garbage and, thinking it was suspicious, contacted the police. Investigators went through the trash, and that's when they found it. One receipt led them to a fingerprint, and that single fingerprint led them directly to the mastermind himself. Leonardo Notarbartolo was arrested and later sentenced to a long prison term. The case was closed, or so it seemed. But here's the twist that makes this story legendary. Of the more than $100 million in stolen goods, only a tiny fraction was ever recovered. To this very day, more than $90 million in diamonds remain missing. No one knows where they are. Some believe they were quietly sold off on the black market, disappearing into the global network of untraceable gems. Others believe they are still hidden somewhere, a treasure trove waiting to be discovered. The Antwerp diamond heist is still considered the most sophisticated and brilliantly executed robbery in modern history. There was no violence. No weapons were used. It was a crime committed with pure intelligence, extraordinary patience, and surgical precision. A crime so perfect, it became a legend. If you enjoyed this story, and you love hearing about real events that sound like they were ripped straight from a Hollywood movie, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Because sometimes, reality is far more unbelievable than fiction. Thanks for watching.